What's up everybody, it's Sean here and I'm back today to give you guys a review of the Saucony Shadow 6000 Gore-Tex in this black colorway. So this is another Saucony pickup of mine that I recently picked up on Saucony's Canadian website. These released not too long ago for a price of 150 US dollars or a hefty 250 Canadian dollars. The colorway for this shoe is black, and this is a fall and winter ready version of the classic Shadow 6000 silhouette. So this colorway is released in conjunction with Gore-Tex, which gives it that waterproof liner, allowing you to wear these shoes in wet and slushy weather without worrying too much about damaging your shoes. And because we're entering the colder weather months, I was really curious to see how these were in person. Because if you know Toronto weather, it can get pretty gross out there sometimes. So it's really important to have shoes like this. So diving right into it, on the toe box you can see this is covered in a black colored mesh. Underneath this, of course, we have that water resistant Gore-Tex membrane, but just from appearances, it looks just like a normal black colored mesh. Surrounding the front toe cap, we have this dark gray colored suede, which is also treated to be water resistant as well. And then covering the eyelets of the sneaker, we have a water resistant black colored suede. The top two eyelets are covered in a gray colored TPU, and then on the mid panel, we have more of that black colored mesh, and then overlaid on top of this, we have the signature Saucony stripe, and this is crafted using a synthetic gray colored tumbled leather. Underneath this, we have more of that gray colored suede, and then on the bottom of both sides of the toe box, we have this reflective 3M layer with a black colored mesh overlaid on top of it. Moving downwards towards the end of the shoe, on the lateral side here we have this small Gore-Tex tag, and then when you compare this to the medial side, so there's no tag on this side, but we do have this oversized Gore-Tex branding which is stamped on directly onto the suede itself. Underneath this on the bottom, we have another reflective 3M layer with that black mesh on top, and then on the heel of the shoe, on the bottom we have black colored suede, and then above this we have a gray colored suede, and then we have Saucony embroidered across in black, and then right in the middle of the heel, we have another 3M layer, and then the top of the heel, this is covered in that synthetic gray leather. As far as the laces go, so these only come with one lace option, and they're just your normal flat style lace in black, but they feel very soft and extremely broken in. Underneath this, the tongue is also constructed out of that black colored mesh, but of course it has that water resistant layer underneath. And then this being a shoe meant to be worn in wet conditions, you'll see that the tongue is actually connected to the body of the shoe using this layer of synthetic leather, which prevents water from seeping in through the tongue of the shoe, so it ensures that your socks are going to stay dry. Running down the center of the tongue, we have this woven pull tab with this reflective 3M layer in the center. And then on the top of the tongue, we have this black colored tag with Saucony branding, and it also features a little rain cloud as well on the left, as a nod to the fact that this shoe can be worn in wet weather. The back of the tongue and the interior of the shoe, this is covered in a black colored mesh. And then as far as the insoles go, these come with your typical foam lined insole, but the top of the insole is lined in a black colored mesh, and we have Saucony branding pressed onto the heel in gray. So the upper of the Shadow 6000 sits atop this full-length EVA foam midsole, and in this case, the midsole is painted in this very light gray on the back half and this dark gray on the front half. And then on the bottom of the shoe, this is your typical Shadow 6000 outsole, so this is entirely constructed out of a black colored rubber. Even though the shoe incorporates Gore-Tex, they didn't change up the outsole to make it more trail ready or outdoors ready, so there's nothing different about this outsole compared to a standard Shadow 6000. So that breaks down the look and the construction of this pair. And in terms of sizing, so my foot measures as a true size 10, slightly on the wider side, and I wear between a 10 or a 10.5 in the Shadow 6000. Usually I find that the Shadow 6000 runs a little bit more snug, so the majority of my Shadow 6000s I wear a 10.5, which is a half size up. But I felt like this pair in comparison definitely ran a bit more true to size. It's not nearly as snug in the toe box. So I feel like if you have a narrow, normal, or even a slightly wide foot, true to size should be perfectly fine for you. But if you have a really wide foot, then you might want to consider going up that half size. But maybe you're going to be wearing these in really cold weather, for example. So if you're the type of person that's going to be rocking this shoe with very thick wool socks, for example, then you might want to consider going up that half size. But I feel like for the majority of people out there, just stick true to size for this pair and you should be fine. Next up, in terms of the comfort, so these feel pretty much like any other Shadow 6000. There's some degree of cushioning underfoot with this EVA foam midsole, so you can feel a bit of that softness and squishiness underfoot, but I wouldn't go out there and say that it's one of my favorite sneakers from a comfort standpoint. It's still going to be perfectly fine for an everyday casual use sneaker, and especially for a shoe you're rocking in wet weather, I feel like these would probably be one of the more comfortable options out there. So if you're someone that likes your shoes to have a little bit of softness, but still not sacrificing all that support, then the Shadow 6000 is a good option. And before I forget to mention, the upper of the sneaker, even though it incorporates Gore-Tex, it feels extremely soft and very broken in already. So it doesn't have like a crunchy, hard feeling to it whatsoever. It already feels really, really well worn in right from the jump. Finally, in terms of the quality and the craftsmanship on this shoe, so first off, material quality, I thought it was pretty solid. Even though it incorporates water repellent suedes and a lot of meshes and things like that, for the most part, the material quality I thought was decent. Obviously, they had to incorporate synthetic layers, as well as, for example, that synthetic leather where the Saucony stripe is on the mid panel. But for a shoe that's going to be worn in really bad weather, it's nice to rock a pair that still utilizes suede, and you don't really have to worry about damaging your shoe whatsoever. And from a build and craftsmanship standpoint, this is where the shoe was a little bit lacking. So I noticed a lot of visible glue stains around where the midsole meets the upper, and the paint job specifically on the midsole wasn't the best. So this is definitely a step down compared to some of the other Saucony pairs that I've picked up over time. That's not to say it was major deal-breaking issues, but just small things that were pretty obvious just from quickly looking at it. So with all that out of the way now, let's toss these on feet. I'll lace them up for you and I'll show you guys how these look. All in all, I feel like this is a pretty stylish option that still functions really, really well in the upcoming cold, wet, and slushy months ahead. And like I mentioned, what I like about this shoe is that it doesn't really feel like it's a water resistant sneaker, but it really is. I actually poured water over the shoe while I was rocking it just to test it. And so far so good. My socks were dry. So if you guys are in the market for a shoe that you can wear without worrying about getting dirty, about getting your feet wet, then I think this is a really solid option. The colorway in itself is very simple, very easy to rock. You can pair this with pretty much whatever you want to wear. And this being a predominantly black-based sneaker, you also don't have to worry too much about getting dirty, obviously. And these are sitting in a full-size one right now on the Saucony website. So if you guys are curious to try a pair for yourself, check it out and let me know what you guys think. As usual, if you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet. You can follow me on Instagram at esco8, follow me on X or Twitter at sean.go spelt out, and visit my website at seango.ca. So thanks so much for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this review and hopefully it helped you in some way, and I'll catch you guys all in the next one.